men, and I use the term loosely. Hey, back on the Rat Rod No More project, and we've got here some fork tubes off of it. Yeah, rode hard, put away wet, no doubt about it. And just barely discernible under the rust and the crud, the legendary Forking by Frank. These tubes, of course, are getting replaced. And they're getting replaced with, of course, Forking by Frank, because he's just about the only guy in the country where you could buy early style Harley fork tubes that are not stock length. And now, whether you want it or not, a bit of a history lesson. Forking by Frank used to be located in Elmhurst, Illinois. And I lived a couple of towns down the road from there, so I had occasion to visit the original location. Kind of an industrial building on Route 64. Back in those days, he had a gold-plated panhead, I do believe it was, sitting in the window. Somewhere along the way, that disappeared. Where it is now, I have no idea. I assume it's in a private collection. Frank died, I do believe, in the late 70s. The business was taken over and run by his wife for a while. Somewhere along the way, they got moved from Elmhurst to Evanston, Illinois, to a much bigger factory and facility. And, of course, eventually his wife died, and the business was taken over by his daughters. Well, the daughters ran the business for a while, but they really wanted nothing whatsoever to do with fork tubes. It kind of fizzled out and was on the verge of being liquidated until, I do believe it was the mid-20 teens, it got sold to a guy who moved it to Hernando, Mississippi, which is where it is currently located. Anyway, V-Twin makes reproduction stock length early style Sportster fork tubes. I'm sure they're made in some shithole in China. I need a set of 4 over tubes, which, to the best I could determine, are only available from Forking by Frank in Hernando, Mississippi, in the good old USA. So Forking by Frank tubes it will be. I'll put the website in the comments down below there so you could find him and his telephone number. Anyway, Forking by Frank, still in business. Well, so why are we talking about fork tubes? We're talking about fork tubes because it's time to put these forks together, these tubes together, and these new tubes are Forks by Frank. And the new ones are engraved the same as the old ones, Forking by Frank. Even though Frank's been dead for 50 years, he's still building these fork tubes. But yeah, we got new fork tubes. This owner wanted his lowers powder coated, so they are. So we're going to address one of the problems with these old tubes. They have no seals on the top. So any moisture will run right down the tube and right into the fork. And in fact, when I took these apart, there was quite a bit of water on the bottom of them. So we're going to make a seal carrier for the top of this tube and put these forks together. And that largely is the subject of today's video, is how to make this seal. I hope it'll work, and putting these tubes together. So in order to solve the problem of water running down the fork tube and, collecting in the bottom of the slider, we're going to make this part right here. This is in cross section, and I got a chunk of aluminum picked out. We're going to machine something that looks about like that. This is the slider, the lower tube, It's going to press into the lower tube and into the top of this part I'm making. We're going to insert these seals. So the seal will sit in here. We're going to Loctite, green Loctite this into the tube so it won't come out, and will help seal it up. The seals, of course, are made in China. I do believe these are off a Honda Rebel. I think they would say they would fit a Honda Rebel as well as many other bikes. And this is what is called a double lip seal. There's a spring and a lip over here, and a spring and a lip over here. So the spring that's going to be facing up, the spring and the lip that are facing up, is going to be the wiper. And of course the bottom one is going to be keeping the oil in. The only other way to do this would be to put gaiters on it. Well, these are extended fork tubes, so you would need a gaiter, 14 inches long or whatever. Well, maybe not that long, but you would need a long-ass gaiter to cover this whole tube up. And gaiters, I don't know, I don't particularly like them. They look kind of cool, but not particularly effective. One other thing I want to bitch about. People commonly refer to these as 33 millimeter tubes. Well, they ain't 33 millimeters. They're 33.3 millimeters. Yeah, I think you could probably read that just barely. And in fact, I'm going to convert this over to inches. The tubes are in fact 1.311, which is pretty much exactly 1 5/16. So, why do people call them 33? I don't know. They're much closer to 1 5/16 than they are to 33 millimeters. But anyway, 1 5/16 is how big these tubes are. So that's the number I'm going to use. Alright, I'm out in the dirty shop fixing to make some chips. And very often when I engage myself in these little projects, I get 2/3 of the way through it and I say, damn, I should have made myself a little drawing just to keep track of what's going on. So I actually have a little drawing that I'm going to be working off of. I added up the lengths of the various steps. This part here that holds the seal, this part here that, kind of provides the beef that holds the seal carrier in, and this part that goes into the fork tube. And I come up with each one needs to be about 1.1 inches long. So we're going to need like 2.2 inches worth of material. And as it so happens, I have me a big chunk of aluminum. We're going to lop off 2¼ inches. Ain't no point watching it cut through that. Bring it back when it's done. And that's that. It ain't happy, but it's working. All right, we're going to do one little cleanup pass and we're there. All right, I'm going to cut the diameter that gets pressed in to the fork leg. And I want to end up at 1.585. Okay, I got about, what do I have? I have about 11 thousandths to take. That should be pretty close. I'm going to take it inside, just kind of test fit it a little bit on the fork tube, come back out, flip the part around and do the same thing to the other end. Okay, so next thing to do is to bore this end to receive the seal. All right, I'm going to take a measurement before I get too carried away over here. The seal is 1.815. We're going to make this hole about 1.810. All right, here's the first one. This is done. Got to make this one look like this one, and then we'll be finished. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. One thing I noticed on these seals, if you look carefully, there's a step in them. So I actually machined a 5,000 step inside here so that the narrow part will go in first kind of easily, and then this fatter part where this lip is will have a little bit more clearance than the other end. So yeah, very happy with this. Just have to finish this one up and make it look like this, and I'll be done. All right, we got our two finished seal holders. I'm going to try putting a seal in first. Hopefully they'll go in and they'll stay in. Yeah, that sounds like it's in there. Yep, can't complain about that. Okay, let's see if they fit in the fork tube. Well, that's going in nice. Yeah. Okay, that's in there. Let's see if the tube slides in. Oh, nice. Man, that is nice. Oh, man, that is really nice. Boy, that is, if I do say so myself, that is a pretty slick setup. I like that. That's going to work out well. Yeah, I got both of my seal carriers knocked down in there. They're a nice tight press fit. They look like they belong on there. Very happy with that. That worked out well. Now all I got to do is figure out how to put the forks back together again. I think I mentioned earlier, this is the seal that's in here is a double lip seal. So, there's two springs and two lips, one spring and a lip on the bottom and one spring and a lip on the top. So the spring and the lip on the bottom pushes the oil down. The spring and the lip on the top should push the water and the crud up and out of the way. But just to kind of give it a finishing touch, I found some boots that press on over the aluminum cup I made, and I think that gives it the final finishing touch. This one you can see is installed. This one I removed so you can see what's going on inside there. But yeah, very happy with this. And with that, this part of this project is concluded, and I am out of here. Thanks for watching. Just a quick reminder, you can help support and grow this channel, first of all and most importantly, by hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to do a little more, join me on Patreon. Links down below. So go ahead and join me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. And finally, coffee cups, stickers, and gas tank covers are available. This is a new design coffee cup. I like the old ones, but I like these new ones even better. And to go along with the new design coffee cup, there is a new design sticker. Links will be provided in the description down below. Coffee cups and stickers are included with the Patreon membership. And thank you all ever so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Bye.